Alex had always thought of himself as careful with his words. Working as a human engineer on the sprawling Arcturus station, he dealt with all sorts of beings. Aliens with translucent skin, creatures with 6 arms, some with eyes that could see ultraviolet light. He had learned quickly that what you said could easily be misunderstood. A wrong comment could start an interstellar feud or get you ejected into the void. But today, all of that caution slipped away. Alex was hunched over a sleek, silver ship docked in the repair bay. The vessel wasn't ordinary. It belonged to Lyra, a highly respected alien warrior known across several star systems for her strategic genius and formidable combat skills. Her people valued strength, intelligence, and honor above all else. To be called a warrior among them was to be legendary. And now, Alex had the dubious honor of fixing her ship. Lyra stepped into the bay, her presence filling the room before she even spoke. Her movements were precise, almost hypnotic, and she carried herself with a confidence that made even seasoned engineers pause. Alex had read her dossier, seen the simulations of her battles, but standing there in person was something else entirely. Her armor was sleek, not just functional but designed to accentuate her form, not in a flashy way, but as if her body itself was a weapon. She moved with power in every muscle, and Alex, against his better judgment, noticed. He opened his mouth, intending to comment on the faulty energy conduit in the ship, but words escaped, unfiltered. "Wow, your form is really impressive," he muttered under his breath. He immediately regretted it, realizing he had said it loud enough for anyone nearby to hear. But it was too late. Lyra froze mid-step, one eyebrow raised, her golden eyes locking onto him. For a moment, Alex thought he had just declared war. Then, to his utter shock, she laughed. A sharp, clear laugh that echoed in the metallic bay. Not cruel, not mocking, but amused. "You humans are strange," she said, her voice firm yet carrying an undertone of humor. "Most of your kind would never dare to speak such thoughts aloud. Even if they think them, they keep them hidden. You did not." Alex swallowed hard. I didn't mean," Lyra waved a hand. "Relax, I am not offended. It is rare for anyone to admire a warrior's form without envy or fear. You spoke truthfully, and that is interesting." Alex blinked. Interesting. That was not the reaction he expected. Usually, a comment like that would earn a lecture or a glare. But Lyra was laughing, almost as if she enjoyed the honesty. I wasn't trying to," he stammered. She interrupted, shaking her head. "You humans are chaotic in your honesty. You must be careful, but also, sometimes your openness is refreshing." He scratched the back of his neck, feeling his face heat up. "I promise I didn't mean anything inappropriate." Her expression softened slightly, though her eyes remained sharp. "I understand. It is not inappropriate if it is truth. That is what makes it acceptable. Now let us see if your engineering skills are as competent as your honesty." Alex exhaled, relief flooding him, but a strange tension lingered. This was Lyra. A warrior who could crush an asteroid with her bare hands, someone who could command fleets, and yet she had just laughed at him for an accidental comment. He realized he was both terrified and intrigued. For the next few hours, he worked under her watchful gaze. Her ship was advanced, far beyond what human engineers normally encountered. Every panel, every conduit, every power node had layers of alien technology interwoven with combat adaptations. Alex felt his heart race as he traced wires and recalibrated systems, knowing that one mistake could cost him his job, or worse. Lyra observed silently, occasionally giving him brief, precise instructions. Her voice was firm, authoritative, but never condescending. It was as if she was testing him, not just his engineering skills, but his composure, his patience, his ability to handle pressure. During a break, Alex dared a glance at her again. She was leaning against the ship, arms crossed, helmet under one arm, staring out at the bustling station. Despite her strength, there was a calm aura about her. It was intimidating and magnetic all at once. He realized why he had spoken without thinking. Humans often judge strength and form, and his brain had connected admiration with physical prowess. But this was different. Lyra's body told stories of battles, discipline, and dedication. He admired what she had achieved, not just what she looked like. "Alex," she said suddenly, breaking his reverie, "come with me. I want to show you something." He followed, curious but cautious. She led him to a restricted area of the station, a section usually reserved for high-ranking diplomats and warriors. The walls were lined with holographic maps, displays of galactic conflicts, and records of previous missions. "I will test your courage and honesty further," she said, her tone leaving no room for argument. "We are going on a small expedition outside the station." Alex's heart skipped a beat. Outside, like outside the station, into space. Into a partially damaged battlefield orbiting a nearby planet, she clarified. "It is dangerous. Few humans would survive this without fear. You will accompany me." This is not only about engineering, it is about observing your character under stress. Alex's mind raced. This was insane, but refusing Lyra could be even more dangerous. He nodded, trying to mask his nerves. The journey to the battlefield was tense. Alex floated in zero gravity, strapped into a small shuttle with Lyra. She briefed him on safety protocols, combat etiquette, and environmental hazards. Every word she spoke was precise, almost like a lesson in survival. Alex tried to absorb everything, his mind spinning with both fear and fascination. When they arrived, the scene was surreal. Crashed ships littered the surface of a shattered moon, with smoke rising from damaged energy cores. The battlefield was silent, eerie, yet alive with lingering danger. Lyra led the way with confidence, her movements fluid, every action purposeful. Alex followed closely, heart pounding, hands trembling slightly as he scanned for hazards. Suddenly, a small alien child appeared from behind debris, frightened and alone. Without thinking, Alex rushed forward to help, lifting the child from the wreckage. Lyra observed silently, noting his actions. "You act with honesty, bravery, and compassion," she said later as they moved to a safer area. "Most humans would hesitate. That is why your words about me were not trivial. Your honesty carries weight, and now your actions do too." Alex felt a mixture of pride and disbelief. Lyra, who could destroy entire fleets, was praising him for basic human decency. He realized that in her eyes, courage and truth mattered more than protocol or fear. As they returned to the station, their bond had shifted. The awkwardness of his accidental comment had transformed into a shared understanding. Lyra occasionally teased him, referencing his initial slip, but it was light-hearted, almost playful. Alex found himself laughing along, feeling a strange connection forming, one based on respect, honesty, and a mutual recognition of each other's qualities. Back at the repair bay, Alex resumed work on her ship. His hands moved with newfound confidence, not just from technical knowledge, but from the realization that honesty and courage were valued, even across galaxies. Lyra remained nearby, offering occasional guidance and testing his reactions with subtle challenges. By the time the ship was operational, Alex felt a sense of accomplishment beyond engineering. He had navigated the most awkward moment of his life, faced real danger, and survived the scrutiny of one of the galaxy's most formidable warriors. And somehow he had earned her respect, not through lies, not through flattery, but through being himself, unfiltered and honest. As he watched Lyra depart, the last words she spoke echoed in his mind. "You are unusual, Alex. Do not lose that quality. It will serve you well." He smiled, realizing that the universe was larger, stranger, and far more interesting than he had ever imagined. And in that vast expanse, his human qualities, honesty, bravery, compassion, had made a mark that even a legendary alien warrior could not ignore. Alex returned to his station duties feeling different, more confident, more aware and strangely optimistic. He had survived the awkwardness, the danger, and the scrutiny. And he had learned that sometimes speaking your mind, accidentally or not, could lead to the most unexpected connections. He didn't know what the future held, but one thing was certain: his life on the station would never be the same. Lyra had opened a door, and whether he was ready or not, he had stepped through it. After the battlefield expedition, Alex's life aboard Arcturus station felt different. The awkward incident that had started it all, his accidental comment about Lyra, had transformed into an unusual connection. He now saw her not just as a fearsome warrior, but as someone who appreciated honesty, courage, and intelligence. He also realized that humans could matter in ways he had never imagined, even to beings far more advanced than himself. Lyra had returned to her quarters after the mission, but not before giving him a small nod, a silent acknowledgement of trust. It was rare for her to show even this much emotion toward anyone, let alone a human. Alex spent the evening going over ship schematics and making notes, trying to anticipate what further repairs might be needed. Yet, his thoughts kept drifting back to her. The next day, Lyra returned, but this time she had a different plan. "Alex," she said, her tone commanding yet not unkind, "I want you to accompany me on a reconnaissance mission. It is outside the station again, but this time it is more complex. You will need to observe, think, and act quickly." Alex felt a mixture of excitement and apprehension. He had survived the last expedition barely, but this sounded like a step up. He nodded. "I'll do my best." Lyra's lips curved into what could almost be called a smile. "That is all I ask. Prepare yourself. We leave in 30 minutes. The mission was in a region near a partially destroyed planetary system. Reports indicated that rogue factions were scavenging technology, some of which could be dangerous if it fell into the wrong hands. Lyra needed to gather intelligence without engaging in full combat, and she expected Alex to assist in technical support, communications, and hazard assessment. When they arrived, the scene was chaotic. Asteroids floated unpredictably, damaged ships hovered in unstable orbits, and debris fields created obstacles that could easily tear through a standard shuttle. Alex's heart pounded as he followed Lyra's precise movements. She navigated the shuttle with a level of skill that left him in awe, showing no hesitation even when their path was nearly blocked by spinning wreckage. "You must anticipate danger before it arrives," she instructed, her voice calm but sharp. "Predict patterns, calculate trajectories. Human intuition will help, but do not rely solely on it." Alex nodded, hands gripping the console as he calculated paths, projected hazards, and assisted in navigation. Every decision counted. One mistake could be fatal. As they reached the primary wreck site, Lyra directed him to a disabled communications array. "This technology is alien, but it may hold important data. You will need to interface and retrieve information without triggering failsafes." Alex worked carefully, connecting his human engineering tools to her alien systems. Sweat beaded on his forehead, but he reminded himself of Lyra's words: honesty, focus, and courage. He had faced danger before, and he could handle this. Minutes passed, but Alex's heart skipped when the array emitted a warning signal. He froze for a split second, then took a deep breath and followed the correct sequence he had studied. The signal stopped. He exhaled, relief washing over him. Lyra watched silently, noting his reaction. "You are quick to adapt, that is valuable." Alex, still catching his breath, tried to sound humble. "I just thought it through." "That is enough," she replied. Her tone held a strange mix of approval and amusement, the same subtle teasing he had noticed before. Suddenly, a faint distress signal echoed through the array. Lyra's eyes narrowed. "Someone is trapped, likely injured. We must investigate." They maneuvered toward a drifting ship, partially crushed by an asteroid. Inside, a small alien child, no older than 6, clutched a broken control panel and cried softly. Alex's instincts kicked in. Without hesitation, he suited up and followed Lyra to the hull breach. "Stay close," she instructed. "One wrong move and the ship could collapse." Alex reached the child first. "It's okay," he whispered, kneeling down. "I'm here to help." The child's wide eyes looked up at him, trust forming in an instant. Alex lifted the child carefully, ignoring the tremor in his hands as the ship groaned around them. Lyra assisted from above, guiding debris and keeping the structure stable. Together, they maneuvered the child safely to the shuttle. Alex noticed her eyes, sharp and calculating, but there was a softness there too, a rare moment of vulnerability. She trusted him. Back in the shuttle, Alex handed the child over to a medical team waiting on the station. Lyra observed silently, then said, "Your actions are commendable. You acted without hesitation, without seeking recognition. That is rare among your kind." Alex felt his chest swell with pride, but he tried to stay humble. "I just did what seemed right." Lyra's lips curved slightly. "And that is why you are interesting. Honesty, courage, and compassion. These qualities are what make humans different, admirable." The return trip was quieter, though Alex could sense Lyra's eyes on him occasionally. There was no teasing this time, only observation and analysis. He realized that every action, every decision, every word he had spoken in her presence carried weight, but instead of pressure, it felt motivating. Over the next few days, Lyra and Alex continued their work on her ship and the station. She began to include him in discussions about strategy, technology, and logistics, which was highly unusual. Most humans were considered too limited to contribute meaningfully. But Alex had proven himself through honesty, quick thinking, and courage. One evening, as they calibrated the ship's energy systems, Lyra glanced at him. "Alex," she said, "I have a question. Do you ever worry that being honest will get you into trouble?" Alex considered this. "All the time," he admitted. "But I've learned that sometimes it's better to be honest, even if it's risky. You never know what might happen." She nodded. "That is rare. Many of my people speak carefully, always calculating, but there is a strength in unfiltered honesty. I value it, and I value you for it." Alex's face flushed. I don't know what to say." "You do not need to say anything," she replied. "Actions speak louder than words. Continue as you are." Their partnership deepened. They shared meals in the station's common area, exchanged stories about their lives, and debated ideas about leadership, strategy, and philosophy. Lyra occasionally referenced the initial incident with humor, making Alex squirm, but it was always light-hearted and never cruel. He found himself laughing more than he had in years. One day, Lyra proposed a training exercise. "We will simulate a hostile scenario," she said. "I will lead the attack. You will coordinate support and navigation. This will test your ability to act under pressure and think creatively." Alex agreed, excitement and nervousness mingling. The exercise was intense, with holographic enemies appearing from all directions. Alex had to track movement, predict attacks, and support Lyra's maneuvers. His heart raced, sweat dripped, but he focused on every calculation, every decision. Lyra moved with precision, but she also observed Alex, adjusting her tactics to test him further. "You are learning quickly," she noted, "and your instincts are improving. That is impressive." By the end of the exercise, both were exhausted but satisfied. Alex realized he had grown in confidence, skill, and understanding. He had proven himself not just as an engineer, but as a human capable of courage, quick thinking, and adaptability. And Lyra had come to respect him for it. As they left the training area, Lyra's voice softened. "Alex, you have surpassed my expectations. Most humans would have faltered. You did not. That is why your accidental words before do not matter. What matters is who you are." Alex smiled, realizing that the universe was full of surprises. Honesty, courage, and respect had opened doors he never imagined. He had survived danger, proved himself in critical situations, and formed a bond with one of the most formidable beings in the galaxy. He didn't know what the next mission would bring, but one thing was certain. Lyra had shown him that human qualities, simple, honest, brave, could be admired across worlds. And he was determined to live up to that admiration, no matter what challenges lay ahead. Alex had learned a lot since the first accidental comment that had started it all. He had faced danger, proven his courage, and formed a bond with Lyra, one of the most formidable warriors in the galaxy. But nothing could have prepared him for what was coming next. The station was unusually quiet that morning, with the hum of engines and distant chatter echoing through the corridors. Alex was performing routine checks on Lyra's ship, ensuring that all systems were operational after their recent missions. He had grown comfortable working alongside her, yet he could never shake the sense of awe that came with her presence. Lyra had a way of commanding a room without even speaking, and Alex often found himself watching her move with a mixture of admiration and nervousness. Suddenly, the station's alert system blared. Red lights flashed across the bay and an automated voice announced, "Unauthorized vessel approaching. All personnel prepare for emergency protocols." Alex froze for a moment, his mind racing. Lyra's voice cut through the alarm. "Alex, to the command center, now." He followed her quickly, heart pounding. The situation was serious. An unknown ship had entered the station's orbit without clearance. Lyra's expression was calm but intense, eyes sharp as she assessed the readings on the display. "They are armed," she said. "Likely pirates or rogue faction members. Their intent is hostile. We must act quickly." Alex swallowed hard, realizing that this was the most dangerous situation he had encountered so far. But he also knew that Lyra trusted him, and that gave him courage. "What do you need me to do?" he asked. "Coordinate defense systems and assist with ship control," she replied. "Human ingenuity is unpredictable, but it can be surprisingly effective." Alex moved to the control console, hands steady despite the adrenaline coursing through his veins. He activated the station's defensive shields and rerouted power to critical points. Lyra commanded her ship into position, preparing to intercept the intruders. The unknown vessel fired first, lasers slicing through the station's outer defenses. Alex calculated trajectories, adjusting shields and redirecting energy. Lyra's ship moved with precision, dodging attacks and returning fire strategically. Alex found himself reacting instinctively, anticipating threats before they fully materialized. Minutes felt like hours as the battle raged. The intruders were skilled, but Lyra and Alex worked in perfect synchronization. Her movements were powerful and deliberate, while his calculations and quick thinking kept their defenses one step ahead. For the first time, Alex realized that humans could truly complement alien abilities, not through brute strength, but through creativity, adaptability, and courage. At one point, a section of the station's hull was damaged, threatening to expose critical systems to vacuum. Alex spotted it and immediately rerouted energy to reinforce the shields. He guided Lyra's ship closer so she could use her strength to stabilize the section. The maneuver was risky, but it worked. Lyra glanced at him briefly, a flicker of approval in her golden eyes. "You are remarkable, Alex. Most humans would have panicked. You did not." Alex felt a surge of pride but kept his focus. The intruders were regrouping, preparing for a final strike. Lyra's ship moved in a coordinated pattern, her strategy flawless. Alex adjusted the station's automated turrets, creating a trap for the enemy vessel. The intruders hesitated, then charged, falling directly into the trap. Explosions rocked the station, but their ship remained intact. Lyra's tactical genius combined with Alex's quick thinking had saved the day. The enemy vessel was disabled, and their crew was detained. As the alarms died down and the station returned to normal operations, Alex felt his knees weaken from relief. Lyra approached him, her expression unreadable for a moment. Then she smiled, a real, genuine smile. "You did well," she said. not just in technical skill, but in courage, judgment, and honesty. Today, you prove that humans are capable of far more than many of my kind expect. Alex blinked, stunned. He had faced danger, acted decisively, and survived, but he had never imagined hearing such praise from Lyra. "I thank you," he said. "I just did what seemed right." "That is why it matters," she replied. "Actions speak louder than words. Your honesty, your courage, your willingness to act, these are what make humans remarkable, and why I respect you." Alex felt a warmth in his chest he hadn't expected. He realized that this was the culmination of everything that had happened since that first awkward comment about her form. His honesty had led to trust, his courage had led to respect, and now he felt a connection that transcended words or species. Lyra's gaze softened. "Do you remember the first thing you said to me?" Alex's face heated. "Yes, I can't believe I said that out loud." She chuckled, the sound like bells echoing in the metallic hall. "It was unexpected, but it was honest. And it told me something important about you. You do not hide who you are. That quality is rare and valuable. Do not underestimate it." Alex laughed nervously. "I never thought that would matter so much." "It does," she said simply, "more than you realize. Honesty, courage, and integrity, these are qualities that can change outcomes, even across galaxies. And today, you have demonstrated all of them." The rest of the station staff, who had been watching from the control room, began to murmur in surprise. Humans were often underestimated, considered weak or unskilled compared to advanced alien species. But today, one human, Alex, had not only survived but had played a critical role in saving the station. Lyra turned back to him privately. "You have exceeded every expectation. Not just mine, but the expectations of your species as well. I admire that." Alex could hardly believe it. He had feared that his accidental comment would ruin everything, yet it had been the first step in a journey that led him here, trusted, respected, and valued. As they walked together through the now calm station, Lyra spoke again. "Humans are unusual. You are capable of honesty, courage, and creativity in ways that many of my people cannot match. You have shown me that even small actions, speaking truthfully, acting bravely, can have tremendous impact." Alex felt a strange sense of completeness. He realized that this journey had changed him, too. He was no longer just a human engineer on a distant space station. He was someone who had faced danger, proven himself, and earned the respect of one of the galaxy's most formidable warriors. Lyra stopped and looked at him directly. "Alex, there is something I must say. The first comment you made, the one you thought was a mistake, it revealed a truth. You are honest, unfiltered, and brave. That combination is rare and beyond belief to many. It is why I respect you and why I trust you implicitly." Alex felt his breath catch. "I don't know what to say." "You do not need to say anything," she replied. "Let your actions continue to speak. That is enough. Today you have proven that humans are worthy, not just in words but in deeds." The moment hung between them, charged with unspoken understanding. Alex realized that the awkwardness of the past had transformed into something extraordinary. He had gained trust, friendship, and respect in ways he never imagined. As Lyra walked away to attend to her next duties, Alex reflected on everything that had happened. One accidental comment, one honest thought, had sparked a chain of events that led him to this moment. He had faced danger, acted bravely, and earned recognition not only for himself but for humanity. He knew there would be more challenges ahead. The galaxy was vast and unpredictable, filled with dangers and mysteries. But Alex also knew that his honesty, courage, and human ingenuity could make a difference, sometimes in ways that even the most powerful warriors could not foresee. And in that realization, he smiled. His life on Arcturus Station had changed forever. He was no longer just an observer in a galaxy full of extraordinary beings. He was a participant, a human whose qualities could inspire awe, earn respect, and even change the course of events. Alex returned to his console, ready to continue his work but now with a deeper confidence. The universe was full of surprises, and he was prepared to face them, honestly, bravely, and without hesitation. He thought briefly of the first awkward moment, the accidental comment, and chuckled softly. It had been a mistake, yes, but it had also been the beginning of something extraordinary. Sometimes, honesty could open doors that no planning or caution ever could. Lyra's words echoed in his mind. Your honesty is beyond belief. And for the first time, Alex truly believed it too. He was a human in a galaxy of wonders, and he had proven that even one person, speaking the truth and acting with courage, could make a difference. The station buzzed with life around him, but Alex felt a calm certainty. He was ready for whatever came next, knowing that honesty, courage, and human ingenuity could carry him through even the most unimaginable challenges. And somewhere in the vast reaches of space, Lyra's respect and trust reminded him that even across species, one human could stand out, not for strength, not for power, but for the qualities that made him uniquely human.